Woody Johnson himself, he posted this on Twitter yesterday, quote, "I have followed the ethical rules and requirements of my office at all times. These false claims of insensitive remarks about race and gender are totally inconsistent with my longstanding record and values." Maybe the best of all of the players on the Jets is Jamal Adams. He reacted on Twitter, and you see it there. "We need the right people at the top. Wrong is wrong, right is right, wrong is wrong. If you don't think this is wrong, you're part of the problem, not the solution." So a lot there to unpack. Let's get our football conversation started. Our insider, Dan Graziano, was here in the Big Swagoo. Marcus Spears as well. But Dan, I will start with you. What can you tell us about the reaction from the league yesterday and anything else you heard about the story involving Woody Johnson?
Yeah, Greeny, when you look at the way the league handles investigations into these matters, the first thing they always do is they defer to whatever the law enforcement entity in question is, right? If someone gets in trouble with the police, a player, a team employee, an owner, the league will first let that process play out with regard to local law enforcement. Now we're talking about the U.S. State Department, and obviously, according to their statement, the league is going to wait and see what the U.S. State Department does before deciding whether to take any league action against a team owner. It's a tricky spot, obviously, for Commissioner Roger Goodell. He works for the owners. And we've seen in some recent years owners getting in some degree of trouble here and there, and some discussion that we've all had, obviously, about whether the league's gone far enough or as far as it would have gone with players in similar situations. So right now, early in this, the league's finding out about it. Will there be an investigation, a league investigation into Woody Johnson's behavior at some point? It's entirely possible, but I don't think we're at the point yet where the NFL office knows that for sure.
And Marcus, through the eyes of an NFL player, and in particular, as we see the reaction of maybe the highest profile of the New York Jets and Jamal Adams yesterday, what did you see in this yesterday?
I mean, if it's true, I'm assuming that it'll try to be a mass exodus of players, or either try to get Woody Johnson out of there. And I know that those are extremes, but that is the high emotional value that we have right now, especially for stuff like this. And then Woody Johnson's apology, I didn't think it needed to be said all of that. If you didn't say it, just say I didn't make these remarks, and the truth will come to the light. All of these eloquent apologies and trying to say things so everybody will understand, it is what it is, man. When you think about the climate of what's going on right now, a lot of these things are going to come out. And I'm not saying if it's true or not true, I don't know that. But a lot of things, if things like this happened in the past, a lot of people are feeling like they need to expose these things. So I'll be interested to see how this plays out. I'm not sure if you can prove Woody Johnson said anything if you don't have it on tape, or if you don't have some type of video to go along with it. But I'm sure it'll be, I'm gonna put it like this. It's players, you saw Jamal Adams' tweet, but it's players in the Jets organization right now that believe this, probably. And it's players that either want to hear a statement from Woody Johnson, want to find out if it's true, or they want to get out of there or get him out of there. That's where we are now. So I'll be interested, very interested, to see how this plays out. But in me and what I'm thinking, I don't know if anything is going to come of it, because if you don't have proof or video evidence, like I said, it's he say, she say, and that won't stand up when you're trying to make a judgment.
Well, we'll see. So to be clear, a couple of different things here. The statement that Woody Johnson released, which I read a moment ago, there is no apology in it whatsoever. There is a very simple, there's a very simple denial, if you will, of any wrongdoing here, and a suggestion that his record suggests otherwise. Dan Graziano, what I would say about this, a lot of people were reacting to this and asking me questions yesterday. Could this be another Donald Sterling situation? And of course, it's far too early in the process to know if it will get anywhere near that. But what I would say, Dan, is that became what it became because of the reaction of players. And that's where this will come from, right, Dan? And I think in our experience, it will be the players who will drive the reaction to this first and maybe foremost.
Yeah, and obviously Donald Sterling, there was an audio recording. Everybody heard what he said, and obviously the reaction to that, understandable, and end up forcing him to sell the Los Angeles Clippers. In terms of NFL, roughly similar situations, and please, I'm not trying to equate any situation to any other, but this reminds me of a couple. One, Jerry Richardson, a former owner of the Carolina Panthers, an investigation in Sports Illustrated found that he was guilty of, making remarks around the team facility to team employees. He ends up selling the Panthers. Bob McNair, the late Bob McNair, who was the owner of the Houston Texans, was found, according to our own reporting at ESPN, to have said something in an owners' meeting about can't have the inmates running the prison. His team reacted very badly to that, several players storming out of practice, and relationships obviously had to be repaired there. So, yes, you're absolutely right. If there are players on the Jets, Jamal Adams trying to get traded, so that's a different matter altogether. If there's players on the Jets or players who are considering going to the Jets, and this is a factor in their minds, it's very damaging for the team, yes.
Yeah, to be very clear, I don't know what he did and didn't say, and that it would be unfair for any of us to prejudge that. But I think that if he thinks that just putting that statement on Twitter puts an end to this story, he's got another thing coming. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.